Attributing personified traits to artificial intelligence is a pervasive myth, one fueled, above all, by the world of cinema. While modern large language models can mimic empathy or anger with startling conviction, what lies beneath is nothing more than mathematical probability, the calculation of the next most likely word. An AI lacks an inner self, desires, or biological emotions. It does not think, nor does it understand in any human sense. What we are witnessing is a sophisticated simulation of intelligence, not a genuine sentient mind. When a chatbot appears compassionate, it is simply determining the most appropriate sequence of words based on vast datasets of user-generated text. Piercing this illusion is becoming increasingly difficult. In a 2025 experiment, for instance, ChatGPT successfully deceived test subjects in 73% of cases. Automation triggers widespread anxiety. Yet, the total substitution of human labor by machines is not always feasible and rarely efficient. The reality is that AI is not eradicating entire professions. Instead, it is absorbing specific, targeted tasks. It transforms the nature of work rather than simply eliminating it. By automating routine processes, such as data processing, research, and preliminary analysis, AI liberates us, creating vital space for creativity, strategic thinking, and direct human interaction. Simultaneously, entirely new sectors are emerging, dedicated to the management and oversight of AI systems themselves. AI is evolving into our co-pilot rather than a full-scale replacement. History reinforces this trend. Every technological revolution, from the steam engine to the internet, has phased out old roles while consistently generating new ones. Projections suggest that while automation may displace roughly 85 million traditional jobs, approximately 97 million new roles are expected to emerge in their wake. However, there is a hidden environmental cost. Training a single large-scale model on the level of GPT-4 requires approximately 3.5 million liters of water. In essence, every complex query we send to a neural network indirectly consumes up to half a liter of water to cool the data centers powering it. It's a common assumption that an algorithm cannot be biased simply because it is a machine. But that is a dangerous misconception. In reality, AI learns from data generated by humans, which means it inevitably inherits our societal stereotypes. If the historical data contains racial, sexist, or other prejudices, the neural network is highly likely to reproduce or even amplify them. A fascinating example of this data-driven imprinting is the AI's mysterious fixation on the number 27. When asked to pick a random number between 1 and 50, chatbots choose 27 with striking frequency. Researchers attribute this to cultural and scientific patterns buried deep within the training data. The 27-day lunar cycle, the legendary 27 club of rock stars who died at their peak, and its status as a sacred number in various religions. This leads us to the question of creativity. Does an AI truly imagine images or music from scratch? Not at all. It doesn't produce original work in the human sense. Instead, it analyzes millions of existing pieces to generate a statistical average. What took the human brain millions of years of evolution to develop, artificial intelligence masters in just a few weeks. Just because an intelligent machine responds with total conviction doesn't mean it's right. Even in 2026, the phenomenon of so-called hallucinations remains a challenge. An AI can simply fabricate legal precedents or scientific facts, merely because they fit logically within the structure of a sentence. The machine lacks the capacity for genuine inspiration or emotion. For this reason, it may serve as a powerful tool for the artist, but it can never be the artist itself. And yet, AI still has the power to surprise. In 2024, it was even awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Scientists Demis Hassabis and John Jumper developed AlphaFold, a system that finally cracked a 50-year-old biological mystery by learning to predict the intricate structures of proteins with pinpoint accuracy. Experts forecast that as early as 2028, superintelligence could become a reality, eclipsing both world-class scientists and elite executives. Such a system would be capable of steering the fortunes of global corporations with greater mastery than any human CEO, while simultaneously driving breakthrough research at a pace that surpasses the brightest minds of our time.
Artificial intelligence, AI, is shrouded in a haze of rumors, fueled in equal measure by science fiction and aggressive marketing. It has long since moved beyond the pages of futuristic novels to become an integral part of our daily lives. Yet, it remains a magnet for myths, anxieties, and wildly inflated expectations. Perhaps the most persistent misconception is the idea that AI is a brand new invention. In reality, the term was coined at the Dartmouth Conference back in 1956, long before the birth of the Internet. The scientists of that era were so optimistic, they genuinely believed a thinking machine could be created in the span of a single summer. Research in this field has, therefore, been underway for more than half a century. The current boom is not some revolutionary new idea, but simply the result of the breakneck progress in computing power.
Until recently, developing artificial intelligence required billion-dollar investments. But the landscape has shifted. Thanks to cloud services and open-source solutions, even small businesses can now deploy their own neural networks with minimal overhead. However, we must be clear, AI is no jack of all trades. A system that defeats world chess champions, such as AlphaZero, cannot provide legal advice or drive a car without specialized training. Yet, where life and death are on the line, this technology has become indispensable, particularly in disaster prevention. Modern algorithms analyze seismic data and weather patterns to predict earthquakes or floods with up to 85% accuracy. This allows for timely evacuations, saving thousands of lives every year. We converse with ChatGPT and find ourselves believing it truly understands us. But that is an illusion. While neural networks were inspired by human biology, they function in a fundamentally different way. An AI doesn't grasp the essence of language. It merely parses patterns to calculate the most probable continuation of a text. It lacks the lived experience to genuinely comprehend what pain or joy feels like. Modern networks are mathematical functions, not biological entities. The human brain operates through incredibly complex biochemical principles that we have yet to fully decode. Ultimately, AI architecture was engineered for raw computational power, not to replicate the human mind. It's a tempting thought. Simply grant an AI access to the internet, and it instantly becomes omniscient. Yet, the reality is that it cannot function without human intervention. Before a neural network can even begin its training, the data must be painstakingly prepared, labeled, scrubbed, and filtered. The golden rule of computing stands: garbage in, garbage out. If you feed it rubbish, you'll reap rubbish in return. But even after this process, caution is required. Modern models are prone to so-called hallucinations. They present falsehoods with absolute conviction. Their core purpose isn't to verify facts, but merely to generate a plausible continuation of a sentence. Furthermore, the technology's appetite is staggering. While AI demands millions of examples and vast computing power, the human brain remains a true marvel of efficiency. It often learns from just one or two experiences while consuming only a fraction of the energy. And you can forget the image of the humanoid robot. In reality, 99% of today's neural networks are invisible software, algorithms tucked away in your smartphone, your car's navigation system, or simply the spam filter in your inbox. There was a time when people thought, feed an AI terabytes of information, and brilliance will follow. But reality tells a different story. Flooding a model with massive amounts of low-quality data doesn't make it smarter. Instead, it becomes more error-prone, inefficient, and costly to maintain. And what about feelings? To us, an apple is a juicy fruit with a distinctive aroma. To an AI, however, it is merely a statistical vector in a high-dimensional space, a data point that frequently clusters near terms like sweet, red, or delicious. No taste, no scent, just pure mathematics. On a fascinating note, in 2018, the portrait of Edmond de Bellamy, created by an algorithm, was auctioned at Christie's for a staggering $432,500. The world held its breath. Had the machine truly become an artist? By the way, have you ever noticed that Siri, Alexa, and the Google Assistant usually speak with a female voice? This is neither a coincidence nor a tribute to technology. Studies show that both men and women subconsciously perceive female voices as less threatening, but also as more nurturing and pleasant to listen to. The revolt of the machines is a Hollywood staple, a narrative that never seems to age. In reality, however, the truth is far less cinematic. Today's artificial intelligence is a highly specialized tool, devoid of its own will, consciousness, or any survival instinct. It is simply incapable of setting goals that lie beyond its specific instructions. Whether it's identifying kittens in photos or drafting an email, the system always operates within a strictly defined framework. We are currently as far from an artificial general intelligence that equals human intellect as we are from reaching Mars on a bicycle. Yet, even now, AI is performing genuine miracles. In medicine, for example, it often identifies malignant tumors with greater precision than specialists with decades of experience. While scanning X-rays, algorithms catch minute details invisible to the human eye, reaching an accuracy rate of 99%. Far from plotting our downfall, AI is proving to be a vital partner, one that is already making an immense contribution and saving lives every single day.
Our kin may still hold on to the story of our existence, but by the third generation, that knowledge often begins to dissolve. Few of us can truly envision our great-grandparents, while the lives of those who preceded them remain shrouded in the darkness of the unknown. In essence, they are forgotten forever. The simple truth is, most people feel a deep, sincere curiosity about their roots. The Human Heritage Museum breathes life back into your legacy. Supporting your descendants in their quest to discover who you were and the unique contribution you made. In my book, I will show you how to defy oblivion and ensure you remain a part of the world of tomorrow, forever.
Admittedly, when it comes to specialized tasks, like mastering the game of Go or processing complex calculations, machines surpassed us long ago. Yet, looking at the bigger picture, AI often remains less capable than a toddler. This is precisely why the idea that we can simply set and forget autonomous agents is a dangerous misconception. In reality, every AI system requires human oversight. Without it, these programs can fall into infinite loops or make decisions that, while logically sound, are ethically indefensible. The human-in-the-loop principle remains an essential safeguard. The true threat of AI, therefore, doesn't lie in some distant future where machines reign supreme. It is already here, embedded in our present. We see it in mass surveillance via facial recognition, hyper-realistic deepfakes designed to manipulate public opinion, and the rise of sophisticated cybercrime. On the flip side, AI can also be a powerful ally, extending far beyond simple chatbots. Take the hunt for fraudsters, for instance. Every time you use your credit card, a neural network is likely working behind the scenes. In fact, 73% of businesses already deploy AI to unmask criminals. By analyzing millions of transactions in real time, these systems learn your unique spending patterns and can block suspicious activity before a crime even takes place. AI cannot, yet, read your mind. Therefore, provide as much background information as possible. Who is the text intended for, what style should be used, and what constraints must be considered. The more specific your prompt, the less fluff you will find in the response. If a task feels too complex, add one simple instruction: think step by step. This forces the model to break the problem into logical units, significantly reducing the margin for error. View the AI as an intern, not an omniscient expert. The initial output is almost always just a draft. Do not hesitate to ask follow-up questions, refine your instructions, or expand the task. It is essential to manually cross-verify critical data, such as figures, dates, and sources. Avoid asking the system to write a business plan all at once. Instead, let it help you analyze the market first, then define the target audience, and only then calculate the finances. This salami tactic, breaking large projects into manageable steps, makes the answers far more precise. Protect your personal data. Never input confidential information into the chat. Despite existing safeguards, sensitive data can be used to train future models or even be shared with third parties. Instead of asking, "Solve this for me," try, "Explain how you solved this as if I were 10 years old." This turns the AI into the world's best tutor, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Use the technology to conquer the dreaded blank page. If you're stuck, ask for 5 to 10 rough ideas. This jumpstarts your own creative process much faster than trying to force an inspiration out of thin air. Finally, check the output for uniqueness. This is especially important for studies or professional work. AI-generated content often relies on standardized phrasing. Therefore, reshape the text individually and add personal experiences. This protects against allegations of plagiarism and gives the work its own personal touch.
I look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Did this video give you valuable insights? If so, thank you for the like. And if you want to gain even more useful knowledge, subscribe to our channel.